I'm also not going to fight for fun anymore. They owe me a championship fight. I'm 3-1, last 4. They came to my house, begged me to fight Max Holloway on UFC 300. And what I consider it an exhibition fight. I don't mean that the loss is not on my record. I mean it had nothing to do with the rankings of my, in the.
Wait, hold on, wait. He thought the Max Holloway fight was like an exhibition, so therefore it doesn't count to the rankings and he should still get a title shot? This might be one of the best excuses I've ever heard from a fighter. It's like up there with the lights blinded Sean O'Malley in the first Merab fight and Paulo Costa was drunk before he fought Israel Adesanya. Like, this is up there with some of the best excuses ever. Nah, it was just an exhibition fight. This is what happened in your exhibition fight. Justin Gaethje thought the Max Holloway fight wouldn't affect the rankings, and he took it like it was an exhibition fight. No wonder he got knocked out. You can't go into a fight thinking it's like an exhibition when you're fighting Max Holloway. It wasn't a real fight. It was an exhibition fight. That's ridiculous, man. What do you mean you didn't think it affected the rankings?
In the time that I did that, Dustin Poirier, who I just beat, got a good win over Saint Denis and then fought for the belt.
And this is what happens when the UFC lowers the standard for title shots. Now, Justin Gaethje, because Dustin fought Islam after being BSD, he feels like he should also be fighting for the belt because he beat Fiziev. Because Fiziev is at the same place that BSD was. Wait, but Dustin had a whole different scenario when he got a title shot. Because Charles had the rematch. He was going to fight Islam, but he pulled out because of the cut over his eye. So that's why they never rescheduled that fight. There wasn't an established number 1 contender, so they went to Dustin, which was the biggest money fight at the time, until they had a number 1 contender. And the thing is, that shouldn't be the standard for getting a title shot. We shouldn't see guys like Dustin beating BSD getting a title shot over that. No wonder why Justin thinks beating Fiziev is enough for him to get a title shot too. Because it's the same thing that Dustin did. But not everybody agreed with that. A lot of people thought it was an undeserved title shot. To use that as a standard for himself to get a title shot is crazy. You can't get a title shot just because you beat Rafael Fiziev in a close fight, and Fiziev wasn't even in the top 10. It's the same guy he beat before. Like, yeah, the Dustin win was big, but then he got knocked out by Max after that. To call that an exhibition fight is crazy, Cope. That's the reason he's not getting a title shot, is because he lost that fight, his exhibition fight, as he says. And now the landscape is different. You have Max Holloway fighting Dustin next month. You have Arman Tsarukyan, who pulled out, but he still should be above Justin. You have Charles Oliveira, who I also think should be above Justin. And if Max beats Dustin Poirier, there is no way Justin gets a title shot over him. That would be so ridiculous. Like, Max's last 2 fights in that scenario would be a win against Justin and Dustin. How could Justin get a title shot over him? Charles is there. I think he's above Justin. Arman is there. He's above Justin. And if Max beats Dustin, now you got 3 contenders that should get a title shot over Justin Gaethje. The entitlement to leapfrog all of those guys is silly. Just because he beat Dustin 2 years ago, got knocked out by Max Holloway, and then beat the number 11 Fiziev in a rematch is silly.
And then since I won, the champion's been saying he wants to fight me. And so they could have easily set that up, but they didn't. Then he vacates.
And yes, Islam was saying that he wants to fight Justin Gaethje. I think Ali Abdelaziz had a lot to do with that. He manages both guys. So, of course, he wants Justin to fight for the belt against Islam. The guy double dips. He gets double the pay. Both of his guys are in the title fight. Of course, Ali's pushing for that. And I understand it from Islam, too. He wants to fight someone that he's never fought before. The other top guys were rematches, Arman and Charles.
And then Oliveira's 2-2 in his last fight. Already has a loss to Makhachev. And they bring a brand new guy in. And I get, again.
Yes, Oliveira's 2-2. He beat Michael Chandler and Beneil Dariush, lost to Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev, but the Arman Tsarukyan fight was very close. But he beat you too. If we're talking about fights years ago, didn't Oliveira beat Justin Gaethje a year before Justin beat Dustin? That he's holding on to as like a big reason why he should get a title shot is because he beat Dustin, right? This guy lost to Charles Oliveira a year before that. And he said that Arman already lost to Islam before. Bro, there's nobody that should get a title shot over Arman. Nobody. He's the number 1 contender. He beat Charles Oliveira, something that Justin couldn't do. The only thing you could say about Arman is that he pulled out. That's the only thing. And that is the reason why he's not getting a title shot right now. Not because he lost to Islam before. That had nothing to do with it. That was Arman's UFC debut on short notice. Neither him or Islam were even ranked when they fought each other. Bro, you got KO'd, colded by Max Holloway 2 fights ago. Oh wait, I forgot that's an exhibition fight.
So I'm not going to fight any of these motherfuckers for fun unless they pay me so much more money.
I understand that. I mean, if he doesn't want to fight them, and unless he's paid a lot of money, he's entitled to that, but he's definitely not entitled to a title shot.
I'm going to take a risky fight, and if I lose, I'm going to be set up, and if I win, I'm fighting for a belt.
Yeah.
Or I'm not doing it.
That's fair. That makes sense. I was going to ask you what you want next as your next fight, and I was like, I feel like they owe you that.
I'm the most consistent guy. I think anybody that's ever performed for their company and been as consistent as of an employee for their company gets a Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
He gets a thank you, gets a good job. Like, nah, I'm done doing shit here. And I love fighting for these shit. I'd never want to fight somewhere else, but I'm not gonna just throw my legacy away for anybody, really.
Well, there it is. Justin had it all wrong. The UFC doesn't give you title shots because you perform and you're exciting. They give title shots if you're a superstar or you're the biggest fight in the division. And then secondary to that is if you deserve it as a number one contender. It used to be the other way around. It used to be number one contenders got the title shots first, and then stars got them after. But in the last 2 years, it's kind of like switched. Now the bigger money fight takes precedent over being the number one contender. Justin thought that him just doing well and putting on performances for the UFC was going to get him the title shot is a miscalculation on the whole thing. Charles Oliveira is the bigger fight. That alone would put him above Justin Gaethje. That alone. Also that he's arguably more deserving of a title shot over Justin Gaethje, depending on if you look at his win over Justin as a reason for that too. And that his Arman loss was very close. If there was 2 more rounds, it looked like Charles could have won. Very different than getting slept by Max Holloway. Very different. If he cared about the title shot so much, he should have never have taken that fight. But just like he said here, he wanted to put on the performances and do good enough for the UFC so they can give him that title shot that he wants. He wanted to be benefited for good work, but he did get benefited many times. He's making the false equivalency that getting a title shot to have a chance to become the number one fighter in the world is the equivalent of getting a Christmas bonus. Wouldn't the performance bonuses be like a 1-to-1 comparison with holiday bonuses? And he's got a lot of those, more than most fighters. Getting a title shot would be more like getting promoted, right? And those two things are very different. Getting a holiday bonus versus getting promoted. Like, those are very, very different things. Like where Justin Gaethje is at in the UFC, he's like at a director position above a manager, but he wants to have a chance at being a CEO. And then of course, Ali Abdelaziz also said that if Justin Gaethje doesn't get a title shot, he's gonna retire. Well, Justin didn't really say that. He just said they gotta pay him a lot of money to fight. That's different than retiring. Again, Ali Abdelaziz, you gotta take what he says with a grain of salt. He's trying to negotiate Justin to get a title shot. So he's putting that narrative forward that Justin will retire and never fight if he doesn't get a title shot. Well, here's the thing, man. The UFC doesn't need Justin Gaethje. And honestly, the fans like him, but they don't need him now. The lightweight division does not need Justin Gaethje anymore. Justin's already fought twice for the belt before, and he got finished in both of those. He got finished in the first and second rounds. It'd be great to have Justin Gaethje still fight, but honestly, if he's that entitled and he really feels like he doesn't want to, then just don't fight anymore. He's making it seem like he's the most important fighter in the weight class. Without him, the UFC is going to lose so much. And with Dustin retiring in his next fight, most likely Justin's not going to be fighting for that much longer either. How many fights does Justin have left in him? 3 at most? I don't imagine Justin's fighting for that much longer. I do respect for him to fight for what he thinks he's worth, but what he thinks he's worth is delusional. To be so incredibly entitled. I hope Gaethje still fights and hopefully fights Arman Tsarukyan, because that would be for the number one contender. If anybody beats Arman, they're getting a title shot. But now that it seems like Justin is not willing to fight anybody but the champion, or any fight for a lot of money, they could do Arman versus Paddy. Arman versus Paddy for the number one contender. It was just go and show Justin that he should have taken the fight. Call out Arman Tsarukyan. Arman said he wants to fight Justin. Justin should accept the fight. Number one contender. He will be undeniable if he beats him, gets his title shot, and then that's it. Paddy could fight Dan Hooker or something like that. But because he doesn't want to fight, Paddy might fight Arman. And that's such an exciting fight, man. Arman's wrestling versus the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu of Paddy is going to be so interesting. Because Arman 100% is taking the fight to the ground. I mean, he took down Islam Makhachev. He took down Charles too. So I think we might see Arman and Paddy grapple. And I don't know who would win that fight. I think Arman would beat him. But stylistically, Paddy could do very well in that fight. And just like that, we're moving on from Justin Gaethje. He doesn't want to fight, but there's other exciting contenders that the fans want to see. And all those guys want to fight.